you want to know what the Milan Art Mastery Program is like, and I've got you covered. At the time of filming this, I am 4 weeks into the program, so I've got my first month over and done with. And I'm going to first answer what I think might be your most burning questions, because they were mine. But if they are not yours and you have other questions that I'm not covering, please just drop me a line in the comments and I will address it hopefully next time. The time needed. So the thing is, you get lessons around average of 5 to 7 lessons per week. Each of these lessons comes with a video, which is an average of 20 minutes. And then following that video comes an assignment. The great thing is they give you a time frame within which you should be doing the assignment, which is typically around 2 hours per assignment. All right, so that means you have about maybe 10 hours worth of actual drawing, painting time. This is an average, so it can be less, can be more in some weeks. And of course, you can spend more time on the paintings. I suggest you try to keep the times that they say you should, because then you can move on. The lesson is kind of learned, right? This is not about creating masterpieces. It's about getting the technique down, at least in the beginning of the program. So yeah, it's about 6 of those sessions per week. And that also means you cannot cram it all into weekends. That's not going to work, mostly because also of drying time. Sometimes you will work on oil paintings in several stages, and each stage needs to be dried, and then you can continue. So you cannot just do it, you can't just jam 10 hours into Saturday and 10 hours into Sunday and get the program done with. That is not going to work. Now, time needed, it's on top of the 20 minutes of video watching and then the drawing, painting time that's needed. You might also rewatch. I always rewatch lessons. I pre-watch, rewatch, sometimes in double speed, but it's a little bit hard to say for me how many hours I really use. That depends on you, whether you watch that lesson once and then you do the assignment and you're done with it, or if you're like me who likes to really plan and schedule and know what's coming and rewatch it. This program really gets you painting. And sometimes you might not feel like doing it, but that's also what they teach you. If you want to be a professional artist, it's not about whether you feel like doing it or not. It's your work and you're going to do it. The great thing is that you very quickly feel like doing it the moment you hit your studio and you start working, because they help you get into right brain instead of left brain. And if you are in right brain, you get into flow, and in flow, there is no question whether you like it or not. You're in flow, and it's fabulous. So that's a really great thing. But sometimes when I didn't feel like it, but I forced myself to go down into my studio, I thought it would be draining my energy, or I didn't feel like going because I felt like I didn't have energy. But that's also the great thing about being in right brain and being in flow. It actually ends up giving you energy. I feel very charged up. Ever since I've started this program, I feel super charged up, even though I'm working harder and more than I ever have in my life. So it really works. What it seems to do is that it serves everybody at every level. I don't know how to do that, but I have not once felt bored. I have learned a lot. I consider myself an intermediate, although there are a lot of techniques I've never done, like oil paintings. I've never done an oil painting before. But it seems that really the lessons are so good and they're so down to the point, yet so at the same time, there is so much in them that I have a feeling that there is not anybody who would say, well, I'm not getting anything out of those first 3 months. And I'm really thrilled at finally really learning how to do things, and not just to somehow do them, because I've always just somehow done stuff. They've also set it up very smartly that you get breaks. So you will have, in the first 3 months, I think you have 3 weeks of work, and then you have a whole week's break. And then you have, I'm not sure if it's 3 or 4 weeks again, where you have assignments, and then again, you get 1 week break. And at the end, you even get, at the end of the 3 months, I think you get 2 weeks of a break. It is made so that you can catch up for missed time, or you know, I mean, life is scheduled in. Sometimes you draw from sources, which means they give you about 5 to maybe up to 20 options to choose from for certain assignments. And I suggest you use their sources. You can, of course, always use your own sources. But I mean, me being me, if I weren't using their sources, which they have carefully chosen for the assignments, if I were to choose then my own and stuff wasn't working out, I'd be like giving myself excuses. Well, that's because I chose the wrong source and blah, 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 you know. So, but that already gets me into the tips. I'm going to go through all the assignments and our art pieces, whatever you want to call them, that we did within the first 4 weeks, and along the way I'm going to give you a bunch of tips that I hope you will find useful. Thank you so much for watching. You can subscribe to my channel, but you can also subscribe to my newsletter on my homepage, and of course you can follow me on Instagram. If you subscribe to my newsletter on my homepage, you will receive coupons for some of my art that I sell. Soon I will sell originals, but I'm also selling prints, and I'm selling some of my art on products, and you will receive a coupon if you subscribe to my newsletter. So why don't you do that? Everything is linked, and I really hope to see you again, so take care.